Only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Do want to thank you all very, very much for taking time out of your schedules today to join us for our presentation. I think you'll be very, very pleased to see what we have to share with you today. Dave Pimper will be joining us shortly. Dave is one of our national sales coaches, top producer with us, and has some really, really great insight into Social Security claiming strategies and seminar marketing. Great way to generate more prospects and very, very timely in today's environment. Before we get it over to Dave, I will go through a couple of housekeeping items here and a few introductory slides. So let's start with housekeeping items. First thing that I want to point out is our phone number here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. That phone number is 800-255-5055. If there is anything that we can be doing here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services to assist you in growing your business in the life or fixed annuity markets, we would absolutely love that opportunity. Please do not hesitate to give us a call. We'd love to be speaking with you, and I think you'll be refreshed to see that we will answer the phone and you will talk to a live person every time you make that dial. Second housekeeping item, I will launch a polling question or two throughout the presentation today. If you would please be kind enough to just click yes or no and participate in those polls. We certainly do appreciate everyone's participation there. And the final housekeeping item before we get into a few introductory slides are going to be questions. You're going to see a lot of information here today, both what I'll present about who we are here at Ijams and what Dave will show you about his marketing systems and prospecting systems and utilizing Social Security. So please, Dave does a great job of answering questions. We want to be as transparent as possible. There should be a questions box on your screen. Feel free to type in any questions that you have at the usually about the midpoint of the presentation, as well as right at the end. We'll answer any and all questions that are presented. So please do not hesitate to type any questions in that you may have. First thing that I want to talk about are our life and annuity academies before we get into the real meat and potatoes today. And as I talk about our life and annuity academy, I'm going to launch our first polling question of the day. And what I'm going to ask you here is if you would like more information about one of our academies. So we're going to host quite a few academies here in 2016. I don't have any dates as of yet. Steve, Charles, Mark, and I are all sitting down trying to hammer it out right now, but we will be making some announcements very shortly on life and annuity academies as far as dates. Hopefully we'll be able to announce the first half of the year's dates. What happens in our life and annuity academy are we'll bring you in normally on a Wednesday. We'll do an evening session Wednesday. We'll have a full day session on Thursday, and then we'll do a morning session on Friday, and hopefully have you back on a plane or on your way home by midday and get you home in time for dinner Friday night. What we do in our academy is we'll bring in our internal staff, myself, Mark Raymakers, someone from our creative team, normally someone from our new business team will be there to present to you on what we do here at Ijams to help you grow your business. I will present to you about annuity solutions for your clients, best niches of income riders, working through the volatility indices that are out there, placement and setup of annuities, structuring of them to make sure that they are as efficient as possible for your clients, and how we can help you here internally with that case design. Mark Raymakers, our life director, does a great job of presenting to you solutions within life insurance realm. We're talking about using single premium life for wealth transfer, overfunding of an IUL for the tax-free retirement concept, multi-generational gifting, personalized banking strategies, all things that we're very, very well versed in here at Insurance Agency Marketing. Of course, someone from our creative team will be here to show you all the branding and marketing solutions that we offer to our licensed producers, and how we can really help you to gain market exposure within your natural market. And then new business team. Usually we like to bring in 1 or 2 representatives from our new business team so you can truly get a feel for what it's like to have that back office support here. What we do for you, we call it submission to commission, and how that's structured. Also, one of the things that's really, really unique about insurance agency marketing is our ownership and executive team will be there. That team is Charles Hiring, who is our founder and CEO, as well as Steve Murray, who is co-owner and our chief marketing officer. One of the real unique things here is Steve and Charles want to know you. They want to learn about your business and make sure your experience here at Ijams is going as well as it possibly can, specifically tailored to you. You will have access to the decision makers, so your concerns or your requests, the guys that really make that happen will be there to hear it. And probably what I find to be, and what I've heard is the most beneficial from attendees, is we will bring in at least 4 of our sales coaches from throughout the country to present to you. Now, in order to be a sales coach with insurance agency marketing services, you not only have to be able to talk the talk, but you have to be able to walk the walk as well. Our sales coaches are top producers and multiple time top producer escape qualifiers. And these gentlemen and ladies will show you exactly what it is that they do in their daily businesses that make them so successful, and give you the opportunity to take that information home with you and implement it in your own practice. That being said, it looks like Dave has jumped on with us. Dave, can you hear me? Nope. He must not be fully here yet. But Dave will join us shortly. Dave is one of those sales coaches and one of our top producers. He will be at our Life and Annuity Academies to present to you and what he does that makes him a top producer. And I can tell you that's very, very valuable. With that being said, I'm going to move on from the Life and Annuity Academy slide. So if you haven't taken the time to just click yes or no, we certainly do appreciate everyone's participation there. All right, that poll's closed. Thank you, everyone. New producer bonus. This is a great thing to be talking about right now for those of you who are new to insurance agency marketing services, or if this is your first introduction to us here at Ijams, you will be eligible for a new producer bonus. This is based on your production within the first 180 days of being licensed with Ijams. It's not tied to any specific carrier, just based on total premium number. And as you can see, there are 3 levels that you can qualify at. At each level, there's great things to choose from: cash rewards, business building tools, personal perks. Certainly something we want you to take advantage of, and we think it's a great way for us to show you how much we appreciate you choosing to utilize Ijams. If you'd like to know where you stand as far as new producer bonus goes, or if you'd like to have a conversation about what we can be doing to help you make sure you maximize your new producer bonus, certainly give me a call. We can get that information for you. Easy money now. All I want to talk about on this slide is how we can put dollars back into your business and back into your pocket. And I'm going to start on the right-hand side with marketing reimbursement. Rough numbers on marketing reimbursement are for every $100,000 in indexed annuity premium you place through insurance agency marketing, we're going to put $200 into your marketing reimbursement account. And when I say your marketing reimbursement account, that's truly what I mean. Our standpoint on that is this is your money, and we want you to utilize it as you see fit. We are going to allow you to use that however you see fit, as long as it's for a business expense. So whether that business expense is a lead mailing, seminar setup reimbursement, website building, any type of marketing or business expense will qualify. It doesn't have to be through a specific vendor. We don't put restrictions like that on there. We also don't make you cash that out at the end of the year, every quarter, anything like that. You can grow this account as large as you'd like to grow it. You can roll this account up as long as you'd like to roll it up. It's your money. We just think it's a great way for us to partner with you in growing your business and show you how much we do appreciate your business here at Ijams. If you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account, or if you'd like to learn a little more detail on how the program works, let me know. We can certainly have that conversation as well. Now, shifting over to our left-hand side is the referred
Scott,
producer.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Mr. Pimper.
Hey, great. Thank you very much. I had a little trouble getting on. Okay, I'm interested in what you have to say.
Thank you, Dave. Referred producer program. Our business here on the wholesale side is real similar to yours out there in the field, in that the best lead we're ever going to get is going to be a referral from one of our valued clients, or you, our valued producer. That being said, we want to make it worth your while to refer individuals to us. So when you refer a licensed agent over to us and they pick up any license through Ijams, any carrier that we offer, we're going to send you a $50 thank you check. Just thank you for the referral. Here's a check for you. No business ties, nothing, no strings to that, just a thank you check. Now, where the real money comes in is as your referred producer writes business, we're going to give you a 20 basis point override on that. So that is out there, that's available to you. And we want you to take advantage of it. So if there is anyone that you can think of out there that you know that could benefit from working with us here at Ijams, please type in their name, any contact information you have, or when I call to follow up, or when Dave calls to follow up, just pass that name along. We'll do the best we can to get them recruited over, and certainly, hopefully, get you on your way to taking advantage of some of the new producer bonus or referred producer bonus dollars. Creative services, I mentioned this a little bit earlier when I was talking about the academy. Ijams does have an in-house creative team. We can do everything that your normal graphic design firm that you utilize, or a PR firm there in your local area can do, and I think we can do it with just as good, if not better quality, and significantly more cost effective for you. Josh and Adam on our creative team do a fantastic job. So if you'd like to learn more about creative services here at Ijams, just call us at 800-255-5055. Ask for Josh, Adam, or just say the creative department, and those gentlemen can show you exactly what it is they can do to help you grow your brand within your market there. We do have an annuity alternative set up here, and I think this is really timely in today's environment. Not real sure what's happening with regulation out there, and I think annuity alternatives are going to really gain some traction. Single premium life. We've all had that client that bought an annuity because they thought they were going to need it for income, and we get 5-10 years down the road, and guess what? They don't need it. Single premium life is probably something that you want to bring up to them. Mark Raymakers and our entire life team here, we have some absolute expertise with single premium life. If you Google single premium life or FMO SPL, you're going to see Ijams pop up right there at the top. We've been in the business of single premium life for a long time and have a lot of expertise with positioning that. So certainly, if this is of interest to you, please give Mark or anyone on the life team a call. They'd love to chat with you about what we do to help annuity producers become more comfortable with SPL and integrate that into their business. Okay, with that being said, that brings me to the end of our introductory slides. And at this point, I'd like to introduce and hand it over to Dave Pimper, who, again, is one of our top producers and has been for many years. He's also the president of Lazarus Coaching and does a great job of working with independent producers to help them grow their sales. Dave, I'm going to give you control now, if that's okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I appreciate the kind introduction. My name is Dave Pimper, and I've been a agent / producer, broker for since 1981. So for a long time, I'm doing the same thing that everyone on this call is doing, and that is trying to get in front of more qualified prospects. And so what happens is that there's different ways to do this, but what I will say is that when you're looking at ways to prospect, some cost more than others, Scott, can you get that back to the first slide or not? I don't know if you can or not.
I can try.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do anything here. It just kind of popped into the.
There you
go. Okay, good. And you know what? I am going to try to have control of this. There we go. Okay, good. So I think I have control now. So what happens is that we're going to talk about seminar marketing, and if you've tried seminar marketing in the past and you were unsuccessful, don't shut your ears off or turn your ears off. Listen to what I have to say, because this is a little bit different approach with Social Security income planning. First of all, 96% of all Americans get Social Security. Not 96% have annuities. Not 90% do types of investments or retirement planning. But everyone virtually that has worked gets Social Security. Now, what happens is that most workshops are dinner workshops. With Social Security, we have found that you don't need to have and lure them in with a meal. And so I'll just tell you, so now you don't have the cost of the meal. Now you have just the cost of getting the person there. And we do conventional mailings to the mail house. That still works. But we also do social media through Facebook that is really kind of fills in to really fill up the room. So what we're going to do in the next half an hour or so is go through some of the slides. This isn't the exact slide selection, because I had to take out maybe about half of the slides, but Horse's Mouth is a third-party vendor. We don't do this proprietary in with Ijams, but this is a third-party. Cost is $500, but that also gets you, they've got a new and improved software with Social Security that's really pretty fabulous. They've done a lot in the last 3 years, but that includes everything, and that's $512 from the manufacturer right to your office or to your home office. There's a book, 2 books in there. One's a question and answer book, over 100 pages. One's just talking about all the new laws from last year's on the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, and then about 220 pages of just everything you want to know about Social Security. So what happens is when you start talking about baby boomers, think about the demographics of age that we're mailing to. From 58 years of age to 67. If you're working with pre-retireds and just retireds, I will tell you what, it's a perfect demographics. And remember, those people are coming to that workshop because there's 7, 8 things they're asking that they want to know about. When's the best time to apply for the benefits? What's the best age? How about, can I coordinate those with my spouse? I mean, I knew there was file and suspend at one time. Is that still available? Restricted application, is that still available after the Bipartisan Budget Act? We go through that in the workshop. If you take early, what's the cost? If you leave it in there, how much more will I earn? You know, how does the survivor benefit work? If I'm divorced, can I claim off my ex-spouse? Will the new Social Security laws affect me? They're basically asking, will it be there for me? And I'm going to say unequivocally that the answer is yes, it will. Now, those types of articles you never saw 10 years ago. This happens to come from December 2015, about a year ago, the Kiplinger Retirement Report. It talks about popular Social Security strategies nixed. Well, one was nixed, and that was file and suspend. But that wasn't nearly as used for spousal benefits as restricted application, and that actually is going to continue to 2024. So that one didn't get nixed. Okay? A lot of people don't know that. Now, why Social Security maximization seminars? I just told you, one of the reasons is the demographics, ages 58 to 67, perfect demographics. This is not a big deal for me and some people who do seminars, but having no meal will save you anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Okay? Pretty substantial. Those are more educational. So we don't have those at a restaurant. or a hotel. We have those at a library or a college, or I like to have some kind of, it could be a museum, somewhere where the education is a theme. I always kid that prospects need us with Social Security maximization seminars more than we need them. That may not be true, but they'll hunt you down to get that report. Pretty high conversion ratio, I think, compared to dinner seminars. And not that I still do dinner seminars with other seminars that I've created, but Social Security is unique. And that transitioning from Social Security to closing the business, some people might look at that and say, hey, that's a bait and switch. It's not at all. I mean, to really understand what's the right scenario to use for that prospective client on Social Security, you need to find out, what their income is, what their expenses are, what kind of investments they have, what their savings are, what kind of income streams they have, what their goals and aspirations are now and in the future. All of that, it's no different than a doctor. You go into a doctor and say, doctor, my shoulder hurts. And he doesn't say, well, I got rotator cuff surgery on a special today. Everyone that comes in, shoulder hurts, I want to give that to him. No. He's going to ask, where does it hurt? How long has it hurt? Has it always hurt? Does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? Do you have hurt in your family history for your shoulders? That's what we're doing here. So we're uncovering a lot of financial data, and that's real, real important. Now, if you've got any questions at all, certainly go in and ask, because we will, if you type those on in, then Scott will read those, and then I will answer that question for you. So a main question that the boomers have right now, will Social Security be there for me? And I'm going to say yes. They've heard it's not. They heard it's going bankrupt. And the system, the trust fund has got about $2.8 trillion worth of money in the trust fund. Now, a lot of that is IOUs, so they said the money's not really there. Well, there are government bonds there, but part of this money is with IOUs, but that's no different than a government-guaranteed bond. I mean, China's got about $10 trillion worth of our bonds. What backs it? Not silver, not gold, the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. What about our money? It's not backed by gold like it was. It entered in 1974, the gold standard? No. Or the silver certificate standard? No. Nothing backs that money except for the full faith and credit. That's the same as a lot or the majority of Social Security. A lot of people are concerned because it's an IOU, but the government has borrowed from that, okay? Has borrowed from that, but it's still backed by IOUs. So it will be there. I'm very, very confident of that. A lot of acronyms are used throughout Social Security. FRA stands for full retirement age or normal retirement age. So if you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. When Social Security came out, President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, put it into law in 1935. The first check was in 1940. And the first retirement age was 65. You couldn't take early, you couldn't delay. It was 65 years of age. But then in 43, in 43, what happened is that they started going in and letting you take early, and then full retirement age came into play. So if you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. For every year after, from January 2nd to the 31st of December, like I was born in April of 55, so I'm going to be 62. My full retirement age is 66 years and 2 months. It goes 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, up to the age of 1960 or later. A baby born today at the hospital. In fact, I just saw on USA Today, I think it was in Phoenix, there was a young mom and dad had twins. They were like 9 minutes apart. The first one was born in 216 and the second one was born in 217. Yeah, but they both have full retirement ages of 67. Now, will that probably change in the future? Sure. If you're 57 and older, certainly if you're 60 and older, they're not going to change. The Social Security Administration, they are not, the trustees, they are not going to mess with our Social Security. But will they for someone younger? In fact, I like to say this during my seminars. I said, my son's 24 years of age, single, living the high life right now. And and if I would have brought to him and said, I think your Social Security full retirement age is going to go from 67 to 70, you know what my boy would say? Give me another beer. And everybody starts laughing because they don't care. We would care. It would affect us at 60 or 61, 62, but it doesn't affect my 24-year-old son really in any way, and they're living much longer than they once did. Everything is taken from full retirement age. So just remember this. This is 101 of Social Security claiming. If you know nothing about Social Security claiming, just know at full retirement age you start. If you take earlier than that, the earliest age you can take is 62. So if you take earlier than that, then what happens is your benefit is reduced. If you wait longer than 66 or longer than 67 up to 70, that's the latest that where you have to take, then what happens is that your benefit will be increased. That's the basics of Social Security. Now, there's much, much more to it than that. So if you take it 62, if your full retirement age is 66, and that's where I'm going off of for everyone to make it easier, it's reduced by 25%. So if you had a $1,000 benefit at 66, and you're going to take it 62, what happens is that your benefit would be reduced by 25%. Your $1,000 now is worth $750, or $2,000 benefit is worth $1,500. Now, the reverse, or I say the reverse, but if you go the other side of that equation, if you go in and you delay or you wait, yeah, it's 8% a year. Simple. It's not compounded, but it's simple. Remember, cost of living is part of Social Security. There wasn't any cost of living last year, but there most likely will be this year with the interest rates going up, so inflation will probably follow. But inflation, since they started with 1975, was the first time that they started inflation, okay, a cost of living adjustment on an annual basis. There's only been 3 times where there hasn't been a cost of living, and it's all been within the last 8 years. So most of the time there's a cost of living allowance on Social Security to stay up with the cost of expenses. But if you delay 1 year, it grows 8%. So if you got $1,000, it's now worth $1,080. If you got $2,000, it's worth $1,160. And then it grows 8% per year. Simple, not compounded, but simple. Now there's no inflation figured in those calculations, but it would be part of the calculation year to year. Now, the spousal benefit in just in a real easy manner, the spousal benefit, let's take that John's PIA stands for, that acronym in the Social Security world stands for primary insurance amount, PIA, primary insurance amount. So John's is $2,000, Jane's is $800. So as long as they're both taking, John takes his $2,000, Jane, the spouse, can either take all of hers or half of her spouse's, whichever is more. Yeah. So he takes his $2,000, starts his, enables her to take all of hers or half of his. Half of his is $1,000. That $200 is a top up from what she would get on her own. Now, if John doesn't take at 66 and he delays because he wants to have his grow, then Jane can only take her $800 and can't start it until he turns his on down the road, okay? So that's a spousal benefit. Now, divorce spouse benefit, here's the triple play if you're divorced, for all those moons and suns line up. If your marriage first lasted for 10 years or more, the person receiving the divorce spouse benefit is currently unmarried, and the ex-spouse is at least 62. Marriage lasted 10 years. The person receiving or requesting the divorce spouse benefits is currently unmarried. The ex can be married, but the person requesting can't be. And the ex has to be at least 62. You can use your ex-spouse exactly as if you're still married to them. And there's some neat benefits with restricted application for married spouses, and divorced if they set up those three things. There's some things with death benefits, spousal benefits, as far as we just talked about. Yeah, so pretty cool, pretty neat. Now, survivor benefits is when someone dies. So if Joe and Julie, they're married, they're both over full retirement age, so they're both over 66. Joe's benefits $2,000 and Julie's benefits $1,200, and Joe passes. Here's what happens is Julie can either keep her benefit of $1,200 or she can drop hers and now take Joe's benefit of $2,000. That's an $800 step up with Julie's benefit taking her husband's, but you have to go in and request this. What happens if I had a gal that for 6 years didn't request this extra money, 6 years. So it was almost $50,000 that she lost out on. Can you believe that? Yeah, the government doesn't have an incentive unless you go to ask for it, because they're hurting for money anyway from the Social Security Administration system. You've got to ask for that. If you don't ask, you don't receive. This is how a survivor benefits work. So Joe would lose his benefit. There's a family benefit of $2,000, $1,200, $3,200. Joe dies. Now there's a family benefit of $1,200. She lets the $1,200 go. Request to take his. Still, there's going to be a loss of $1,200 from the $3,200, but she can step up to his benefit in the survivor benefit. Okay. Now, coordinating spousal benefits. Let me first say this: is the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. You hear about file and suspend a lot. File and suspend. It's very literate of what you can do. You file it, then you suspend it. But in relation, there's also something also called restricted application. File and suspend is only used about 15% of the time with married couples. Restricted application was used 85% of the time, much more popular. File and suspend work the best as if the wife or the husband, whoever is the lower income earner, and normally in this age group, it was the wife because there was a lot of stay-at-home moms in the baby boomer era. What happens is that if she made virtually no money, meaning you need 40 quarterly credit hours to have a Social Security benefit. So that's about 10 years of working, okay? Could be part-time, could be full-time. Right now it's about 5,080 hours a year you can get for quarterly credits. But what happens is if you didn't have any benefit or a very low benefit, file and suspend worked better. Restricted application worked better normally if the wife or husband have not similar benefits, but there's a bigger benefit for the lower income earner. So file and suspend was phased out in 6 months, so it's done. So basically, May 1 of last year, file and suspend went away, so there's no file and suspend anymore for anyone, unless you're already taking it. But you can't introduce it as a new benefit now. But restricted application, remember I told you to 1/1 of 2024, had an 8-year phase. And now the catch here is you have to be 62 by the end of 2015. 62 by the end of 2015. If you're not, you can't use a restricted application. Now, what does this mean? So no more file and suspend. So let's go past that slide. Now there's restricted application. So here's how it works. Let's say Mike and Mary are both 66 years of age, so they're full retirement age. Mike's primary insurance amount, that's the amount at full retirement age, is $2,000. Mary's PIA primary insurance amount is $800. Mary wants her benefit right now, and Mike doesn't. Mike doesn't. He's still working, and he doesn't need to have that money come in. $800 is enough for the family. Well, normally Mary could go in, remember, and take all of hers or half of his, whichever is more. Can't do it here because she can't do that until he takes, and he's delaying his. Going to grow 8%. But here's what restricted application does. Mary takes her benefit of $800. She has to start it. Mike now is going to start his application, and then it turns it on to get the delayed retirement credits of 8%. and now he can go in and take a spousal benefit. He takes half of Mary's. Half of 800 is 400. That 400 is free money for this couple. Free money. His continues to grow 8%, and the cost of living turns it on anytime after 66, so 67, 68, 69, up to even 70 years of age. Well, that $400 is just under $5,000 a year, about a little over $19,000 over 4 years. Most people don't ever take this, but it's a great way from a spouse to be able to take it. Now, I'm not expecting, if you aren't really involved with Social Security maximization and how Social Security income plays, but when you coach with me from the seminar system, there's 3 other books that I have you order besides The Horse's Mouth. The books are like $10 a piece, paperback from Amazon. And then you've got me as a reference. How does this work? How does this? I was reading this. I don't quite understand this. Yeah, there's lots of little. There's over 2,000 rules. There used to be 2,600 rules, but now the file and suspends are no more rules, so maybe 2,400 rules in the IRS code for maximization and income benefits. And do I know every single one of them? No, I won't say I know them all, but I know the ones that count. I've probably given 60 Social Security seminars, and I've given about 430 public seminars since the mid-'80s. So seminars is one of my main ways that I communicate and able to get in front of new prospects, new money, which of course is the lifeblood of any type of financial organization. Restricted application, free money, almost over 19,000 in 4 years in this scenario. If you got any questions, just type them in, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. We got a couple, 3 or 4 more slides, and then we'll jump into. Scott will put up a poll if you'd like for me to give you a call. Actually, Craig, my assistant, or Amy, one of my other assistants, will call, and then I can follow up with maybe a 20, 25-minute phone call talking about the seminar systems or Social Security claiming in general. But you know what? Great information, and knowing it does not make us successful in this business. It was just the smartest people than scientists and engineers and architects and math teachers. They would, doctors, they would be the ones that'd be the best advisors. No, we have to be able to get in front of people. And this is really a great way. It's kind of lazy man's way of getting in front of people to be able to show of what you know and to be the expert there. What can't the Social Security personnel do? You know what they can't do? They cannot offer you advice. Now that's pretty wild. They can estimate your individual benefit right now. They can tell you what you're entitled to right now. They can't project future benefits. Like they can't tell you, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be restricting your application. They actually can't do that because it's giving advice. They can't help you with strategies designed to maximize your benefit, like restricted application. Is that just bizarre? Yeah. I mean, I'm a financial planner. It'd be like, hey, Dave, can you give me some advice on financial planning? I give you advice on a lot of stuff, but not financial planning. Not what's on my door. Not what I've had the years and years of education on. Just doesn't make sense. This is taking the claim actually from the Social Security Guide. D, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. You know why that's so important? Where do they get advice from? A brother-in-law, sister-in-law? No. A lawyer, a CPA? No. I'll tell you what, I called my lawyer, my trust lawyer, been in the business for 38 years. My CPA, he's a CPA lawyer, but he's a CPA and does my taxes 40 years, my banker 40 years. None of them knew anything about Social Security claiming. In fact, the CPA was coming to my workshop one of the times, but had a conflict. So they're looking for this information also. It really sets us up. Now, the transitioning from Social Security to actually writing the business is tricky. It's a two-edged sword. But I set it up talking about the pillars of income, and we actually have this slide not with the consultation sheet. The consultation sheet or the evaluation sheet, what happens is that is what they take out of their green binder when they look into it coming in, and then when they take that out to fill out whether they want a consultation or not. But I talk here in this slide about the pillars of income, the 5 pillars of income: work pensions, RMDs, income producing assets, and Social Security. What I say here is that the first 4, work pensions, RMDs, and income producing assets, they're probably the least flexible. Social Security is probably the most flexible. And here's what I mean. If you're making $50,000 and you work for the same firm for 30 years, what's the chance in 4 years that $50,000 is going to go to $90,000? Just not going to happen. How about your pensions? Not going to happen. How about your RMDs? They are what they are. Income producing assets, you put your money in, you have $300,000 in your 401k. I doubt in 4 years it's going to go in and jump to, $500,000. I mean, it could, but it could go down in value also. But Social Security, there's guarantees, guaranteed of how much it will earn you if you delay, guaranteed of how much you can make if you restrict your application, guaranteed of how much you can have if your spouse dies, guaranteed that if you were divorced but married for 10 years, still unmarried, and your spouse is 62, there's guarantees of what you can make. Yeah, it's the most flexible. You can start it now, you can start it later. So I talk about it's very important of how it coordinates and conduits with your other 4 pillars of income. This is a very, very good slide. It really kind of brings it together as it isn't just a standalone asset, Social Security. Hey, I'll retire and take it. No. You've got flexibility. The people who come to a workshop are really, they're a little higher educated. They usually have a little bit more money. They're a little bit more savvy when it comes to finances. Wonderful people to work with. So this is kind of that key slide here of showing that transition. So the 2 systems with Seminar, one is horse's mouth. They've got the calculator for analysis. They've got the PowerPoint slides, even though I've changed those some to really kind of, to go, I work with it all the time in the field. Elaine's not in the field day in and day out. She was at one time years ago, but she's really more, as you can tell from the slides, a lot more analysis, okay? But there's a lot of information. For $500, we thought we couldn't reproduce that in-house with the FMO Ijams. And then there's myself, over 430 public seminars. I know this is kind of complicated, everyone that's on the phone with this, but I try to make a complicated subject much easier for you to understand. I mean, you get about, there's 30 plus attachments over 5 coaching sessions. In those 5 coaching sessions, just to let you know, I don't get paid from being in your override system or in my hierarchy. No, I get paid from coaching. Now, am I a producer? Sure. 95+% of my income comes from producing. But coaching, I really, really enjoy it. I'm in a situation in my life, I'm going to be 62 in a couple of months, and I enjoy helping people succeed. And so what happens is that I get paid $150 per session for 5 sessions. That's $750. That's how I get paid. And the neat thing about it is Ijams, as long as you contract some through Ijams and your intent is to write some of that, the seminar business through Ijams, yeah, they'll pay for $555 of the $750. It's a deal. It is this a great deal if you're getting in front of new hot prospects, but you're learning Social Security. I'll tell you right now, the whole DOL law, where unless it changes, which I don't think it will, even with Trump in there might be a few tweaks to it, but fixed indexed annuities most likely are going to be best interest contract exemption covered item. What happens is that they wanted a more holistic approach and not just a sales approach. Social Security certainly is in that holistic arena. This system's a turnkey system. Yeah. I mean, you get lots of information from me. You can call me anytime you want to, not just when we're coaching, but after too. Hey, Dave, how about this? How about this? How about this? But you know what? The proven language I give you, it's 2 pages of exactly what I say to transition from Social Security maximization to the actual product itself. No meals are served, saves you some money there. A little different person comes into a non-mealed seminar, and the big thing is you're not doing this by yourself. You're doing it with someone who really understands the subject, understands you. So after this, Scott is going to bring up, and I'll see Scott if there's any questions, or he's got any questions to bring up, or we can go in and reiterate on. But I want to say this, and I do end a lot of my workshops this way. I'll say, if you heard something today that you liked, if you heard something today that you didn't know, you know what? Sign up yes and talk to me. I'm not going to go on in and harangue you. I mean, you're independent. It's your own business. But I will tell you what, I had a debate whether I wanted a January 3rd. That's the first year back of the new year. And I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of folks on the line with me today. I think the reason is because they've set some New Year's resolutions in that they don't want to go on in and get into a rut. That they want to go in and they want to make a difference with their production. They want to be a better advisor, more production. That's key. DOL, Department of Labor, they want it to be a holistic approach. Or I tell you what, learning Social Security maximization is going to make you a better advisor. It's going to help you with your clients and future clients, and in the return, it's going to go in and have the ability to make more money for 2017. So if you heard something today, listen to this. Procrastination is a sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Yeah, tomorrow never comes, does it? I have a man cave downstairs, and my wife got me a sign from a flea market, and it says, free beer tomorrow. No, don't let that happen to you. The people who take action are the people who are successful. I'd love to talk with you. And Scott, I'm going to hand this over to you, but if you can throw up that poll. And let me just tell you, when this poll goes up, and this is just pretty simple, if you mark yes, you can mark no, you can mark yes, but if you mark yes, Craig Jones from our office, or Amy, one of the two, one of my 2 administrators, will call you if you mark yes, and we'll line up a good time for you and a good time for me. And we normally talk for 20, 25 minutes. If you mark yes and Craig calls, please take the call. Don't mark yes and disregard Craig's call. I mean, I know you guys are busy, trying to get off to a great start of the new year. We're certainly busy, but certainly take the call or call back. So use a number that we can get a hold of you, and then we'll set up a good time for you and a good time for us. But getting in front of people, qualified prospects, with some great professional information, it's the name of the game in today's financial planning arena. So would love to talk with you. And Scott, I am going to turn this on over to you to see if there's any questions and to kind of finish up for the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Dave. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the information. Yeah. As always, great presentation. Do have a few questions that came in, and I do have the poll up right now, so we're not showing any slides besides the poll up, so I can't backtrack to one previous slide. But if you just touch on this one more time. We had a question come in. How do we monetize this? I know you give out the transition language. I know in your coaching, you talk about being able to pivot from the Social Security to actual, implementing of the retirement plan. Can you hit on that a little bit again?
Yeah, and I can't give all of my secrets away, or maybe people wouldn't need me for coaching. But I will say this. I'm saying that with half-heartedly. What happens is that the 5 pillars of income. So there's work or wages. There's pensions, if you're fortunate to have one. There's required minimum distributions on your retirement accounts, if you have a retirement account, forced at 70 and a half years of age. there are qualified and non-qualified, but income-producing assets. What can produce an income? So farmland could, rentals could, investments could, retirement accounts could, IRAs could, Roths could, alimony could. I mean, anything that produces an income. And so what happens is then Social Security. And I always say how Social Security is not a standalone. It's how it integrates and works with those other four pillars of income. But once you get all that information, what I do is, and I talk about it in the transitioning, but you know what? Let's say that they've got a dormant 401k that's worth $130,000. They're still working. They got a current 401k that's worth $400,000. They've got life insurance that is an old policy that's got cash values of $90,000. Okay, they've got CDs and money markets of $50,000 at the bank, and they got a brokerage account for some. So say they're pretty well. They've done about $700,000-800,000. Well, you know what? Am I going to try for $700,000 or $800,000 and work with all that money? No. I'm going to work for kind of the low-hanging fruit, and it might be, if you're a life insurance guy, it might be that cash value of that life insurance. You know, maybe they don't need life insurance anymore, and there's a chance you could take that and put that into an annuity contract. Okay. Or how about you could be more competitive on the life insurance? Or how about they haven't touched that money. It's still with their old employer for years and years. No one looks at it, and they have no idea even how it's doing. Well, that's just prime picking to go in. So you are identifying an asset, and then you're basically asking the person, hey, would you be open for me to give you some ideas on that? And if they are, then you're cooking. And if they're not, you can ask, can I ask why? And then they'll tell you, and you know what? Then you go on to the next one. You go on to the next prospect. The tough thing in our business is if you're only working with one or two or three prospects, it's live or die on each one of those prospects. You have to have them. But when you're working with 15 or 20 prospects out of a seminar or a grouping of seminars, yeah, I mean, I love this. One of my very favorite words is next. Next prospect. That works great if you have a next prospect. It doesn't work great if you don't. That's what happens with seminar marketing. It just feeds your pipeline of prospects. So hopefully that helps answer that transition question a little bit.
I think it did, and thank you for that answer, Dave. And I'm going to expand on it before we move on to the next question. Dave's worked with Ijams really closely for going on a decade now, and I've had the pleasure of working with Dave for pretty directly for about 6 years. And you know, one thing that I can say that you will get from coaching with Dave is a big believer in running on a track. And if you want to know how to monetize this, part of coaching with Dave and part of implementing Social Security marketing into your foray is Dave's going to give you a track, and he's going to help you stay on that track, and that track is going to lead to monetization of that. It will lead to return on your investment. I don't like to use the word guarantee, but it's a proven track, and if you utilize the system, if you utilize Dave's coaching ability and you put this system into place, that track, I've seen it lead to dollars, commissionable dollars, monetization, return on investment, whatever we want to call it, for many, many producers. It's a proven track, and that's available to you through Dave's coaching. Dave, moving on. How big of a mailing size are we talking on this?
Anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000. The cost of the mailer, it's a full color, front and back. It's a folded 8.5 by 11, and the cost, including the postage and the and then all the specifics like the demographics and so forth, is 55 cents. So if you mail out 6,000, it's $3,250. If you mail out 5,000, it's about, I think, $2,750. So you have between $2,700 and $3,200 for that. And then we also encourage from social media through Facebook and it's all done through the mailing house. We probably have done it now, I would say 6 or 7 times. And the least amount, we got 2 people from the $500 it cost us one time, and we got 21 people at the most. We're averaging usually between 8 and 12 people is about what we're averaging for $500. So it isn't the sole marketing, but we think that social media certainly can help kind of the creases to make sure you fill up. And it's really important to fill up the room. So, is it for the faint of heart when you're spending $3,000 or $35, $600 for marketing? No. Remember, you don't have any meals with this. So we're hoping to get anywhere from 35 to 45 people. That's what we're looking at to get to the actual seminar itself. And we have 2 nights of seminars, normally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are all good days, but Tuesday, Thursday seem to be the best days if it's possible, at a library or some kind of educational forum.
And, I've seen Dave fill the room. It works. The mailer that Dave has designed works. The mailer that's available to you works. And the social media that we've been working with there has really been kind of the cherry on top. Pretty inexpensive. And Dave, I don't know if I'm supposed to share your trade secrets or not, but I can tell you I know of at least 2 producers that have used the social media, Dave being one of them, that have actually generated sales from those leads. So it's very, very worthwhile there. And then again, I'm going to ask another trade secret here, and this is our last question. Guy just chimed in and said, what are we looking at for conversion ratio from attendee to actual sales? Can you throw any type of percentage out there?
Yeah, sure. And this is just general, but here's what happens is, if we get 40 people there, it's about 0.6 to 0.7%. We're not going to get 1% like the old days. It just doesn't happen, especially if you're not luring with a meal. So 0.6 to 0.7. So if you mail out 5,000 at 7%, it's about 40 people. Of those 40 or 42 people that come, you have about 26 or 27 buying units, meaning husband and wife being a buying unit. Of those buying units, our goal is to convert half of those to appointments. So you're going to have about 12 to 13 appointments, from that workshop. Of those, you're going to have, say you've got 12 appointments. Of those, you're normally going to have 7 or 8 will be second appointments, and we're trying to close half of those. So that would be 3 people or couples to close. Now, whether you close 1 piece of business or 3, 4 pieces of business, that's the goal. Now, I will say this is from every workshop that I do, mailing, which I do 2 physical workshops from it. My goal is I try to bring on $250,000. If I can do $250,000, you can just kind of figure about it. For every $100,000, if you get paid 6% in the fixed index annuity business, that'd be $6,000, $12,000, $14,000, $15,000. That's my goal. Now, I do other securities also, so maybe you can't get across the board if you're strictly insurance licensed, not quite as holistic as I am to cover all the bases. But I would certainly think $150,000 should be. I would think it's a minimum of what you could expect from a workshop like that. Probably higher if you've got some other licenses and your RIA license, et cetera. So that's what we average. Some are better than others. We've had where we've brought in over $1 million, and have we been skunked before? Not often, but we have. But it isn't very often at all. The more you do, the better you get. And again, if you've got some interest, Mark, yes, would love to talk with you. Love to give you some insight on my part of if could this work into your 2017 marketing plan.
Hey, thank you, Dave, for that answer. And those are tried and true results. We see a lot of the business Dave writes, does flow through our office, and we see it. I know every time that Dave does a seminar because I see a pop the next week from him. So it's it works. It works, and we appreciate all that you do, Dave. That being said, that does bring us to the end of the hour. So any parting words you'd like to give to the group, Dave?
Nope. People who take action are successful. Take some action. Mark, yes, call me. My name is Dave Pimper, Lazarus Coaching, and I would love to talk with you, give you some ideas of how I can help your production for 2017.
Okay. We thank you very much for your time, Dave. I know you're getting off to a real busy start this year, so we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us. To everyone out there, I know an hour out of your morning, early afternoon, whatever time frame we may be in for you is a lot to ask, so we do appreciate you giving us that time. I'll echo again, we are into a new year. If you're looking for what can take you to the next level in your business here in 2017, click yes on that poll before you log off. Schedule a conversation with Dave. 20, 25 minutes could change your entire year, and we'd definitely love to be a part of that with you. Thank you, everyone. Go out and have a great sales day, and we look forward to speaking with you in the near future.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good production week. Bye-bye.